Now I'm going to show you how to get the 6th channel to work with the OrangeRX T-SIX transmitter. This is something that's been frustrating me for weeks. I use this with a quadcopter and I find that the controls really aren't set up for quadcopters at all. The manual is less than useless and I haven't been able to find anything on forums, and I finally figured this out by trial and error. First thing we're going to do is set up a new model. And I've never touched model 7 before. It's loading up the default settings. Let's go back to the main screen. Now the first thing that you want to change is from heli to acro. It's not intuitive. You think a quadcopter is more like a helicopter, but the way the controls are, you want it to be in acro mode. I'll show you why. If I go into setup list and then monitor, you see that the throttle and the auxiliary port are connected and they're inverse, and this is not, I think that's useful for a helicopter but certainly not for a quad. So let's change the model type to acro. Go back. Now if we go into monitor, we find that the throttle isn't connected. Channel 5 is working and connected to the F mode or gear. You can see that working there. But the auxiliary doesn't seem to be connected to anything. I've flicked every switch there is and it doesn't move a thing. It's been frustrating me. I thought I had a faulty controller. Turns out that the flap/gyro switch is actually channel 6, and by default the travel is set to 0, and that's the problem. So the way you adjust that is that you scroll to function list, move down to flaps, and here you see flaps set for normal and landing. Now what you want to do is actually create some range for this. So select flap norm, so when it's switched off it's on norm, when it's switched on it's switched to land. So on norm we want to scroll all the way to the right until it goes to 100. Set. Then we scroll to land, scroll all the way to the left, so, whoops, all the way to the right. That's a bit odd. So it's down 100. Now when we go back, we go up to setup list and monitor, we find we have the auxiliary port actually traveling and doing its job. Now I think this is all because these controllers are all set up for model aircraft and helicopters, and really nobody's thinking about quadcopters yet. And I think the first company that bothers to focus on quadcopters will make a killing, because we don't need all of these extraneous switches, we just need it to work for a quadcopter. There you go. Enjoy.